We all are familiar with the phrase, save money for a rainy day. This is because we all want to stay away from risk and be well prepared for an unplanned event or situation. But how do we do this? Hi, my name is Chitra Marion from MyWay Wealth, and today we will be talking about the need of having an emergency fund. We normally set aside money for two reasons. One, for planned events which are under our control, say for example house rents which we pay at fixed intervals. Two, for unplanned events which are definitely out of our control, say for example an accident or a medical emergency. These are situations that are bound to happen, and without an emergency fund, you are seldom prepared. These are such situations where an emergency fund can act as an oxygen mask. But the question is, how much do I set aside as an emergency fund? This question is answered depending on an individual situation, which can be put under three categories. The first one, if you are a single person with no dependents, then the amount you set aside as an emergency fund is 6 months of your living cost. The second category, if you are a double income family where you and your spouse both are working and you have no dependents, then it is recommended that you keep 3 months of your living cost. The third category, if you are a single bread earner with parents and children dependent on you, then it is recommended you keep aside a year's expense as an emergency fund. Now, these expenses include rent, utilities, premium, credit card charges, club membership, children education, etc. But remember, these amounts are just estimates. One's need is always different from another, so you can always increase or decrease the amount depending on your situation and financial goal. Another important point to keep in mind is if your family is a risk-averse family, it is good to make it a habit to keep aside a year's expense as an emergency fund. The next important question is, where do I keep the emergency fund? Here the most important point to consider is the easy accessibility. The first option could be a savings account, but remember to choose this option with a sweep-in feature which helps you to earn more returns than that of a normal savings account. The second option could be a fixed deposit, wherein you have to keep in mind that your money is being deposited for a fixed tenure and you can withdraw that only on completion of the tenure. Premature withdrawals are subjected to fines and penalty. The third wise option you could do is invest that money in short-term debt mutual funds, which has a maturity period between 1 to 3 years and are always safer than equity funds. The fourth option could be balanced funds, wherein you can invest a larger chunk, say for example 70% in bonds and the remaining 30% in stocks. These percentages can be altered depending on your risk appetite. However, this option helps you to earn higher returns and at the same time helps in managing the risk based on your risk appetite. Once you have set aside money for your emergency fund, the surplus amount can be used for investing in equities. Any investment more than 5 years can be comfortably used to invest in equities because equities perform the best when you remain invested for a long period of time. Equities help you to earn way more returns than any traditional instruments. Hope this video helped you to understand the need of an emergency fund. Remember to plan your expenses and finances rather than delaying your investments due to the fear of risk. Think smart. Think MyWay Wealth.